Hi, my name is April Curtis, and I am the co-chief instructor for the Tar Heel chapter of BMW Club, along with Paul Tillery and Phil Antoine. Welcome to our High Performance Driving School of the Year here at VIR. First of all, on the waivers for both VIR and BMW CCA, the VIR waiver, now people will sign their waiver at the guard shack when they enter the track. And I believe that VIR also gives everybody in the car a red wristband. So everyone in each car entering must sign at the guard shack. Now, the BMW CCA waiver, the link to that waiver is on ews.bmwcca.org. You and any crew and guests must complete the name, email address, and photo for each person, even if they will arrive after you do. If you haven't completed that waiver, you will be directed to complete it online on your smartphone before you can clear registration. Now, check-in. All participants, guests, and crew will need to check in with Tar Heel BMW CCA staff once you enter the North Paddock. Registration will be at the tech shed, and check-in will be open on Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. It will resume Friday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. If you have to check in Saturday, you need to be there early. Be in line by 6:30 a.m. or risk having to wait until after the mandatory instructor meeting and pairings. Also, bring your driver's license, your helmet, and your completed vehicle tech form when you go to registration. Now, these registration volunteers will be at the table all weekend for general questions and replacement numbers. For example, if your numbers blow off the car, they cannot change your instructor or your run group, nor can they issue solo stickers. Those concerns will be addressed to chief instructors. At least one of us, if not all three of us, will be on the hot pit wall in front of the infield care center. Used to be the timing and scoring and classroom building. Now, crew and guests, VIR security requires the names of everybody who's coming to our event. And in Motorsports Reg, there is a field to enter guest names. So you should already have entered those in your MSR registration, even if they will arrive after you do. So you can avoid a $10 spectator fee by having those guest names in MSR. I provide a list of participants and guests and crew to VIR prior to the event. Okay, in registration, you'll receive a lanyard with schedule and track map included, plus an ID card with your emergency contact information. Keep that ID card with you. The packet includes your car numbers and run group. Place the run group and numbers on both rear side windows of your vehicle. Now, if you don't have rear side windows, for example, a late model Corvette, then if you can, excuse me, if you can please place them on the car itself or on the very edges of the back window. It's important that the corner workers can see the numbers, so that's why I'm being kind of fussy about where you put your run group and numbers. Also included in your packets are the slip evaluation forms for both your instructor and for the event. We review these after every event. They're important to us. We've made changes to our program based on input that we've received from you. There is also a grid tech form for you and your instructor to review your car preparation with you before you go out on track. We will not be collecting those. We will be using trackkeeper.com for the event schedule. However, sometimes it's not immediately updated for a delay, so be sure and listen to paddock announcements. All right, let me mention our sponsors. These are the folks who support the Tar Heel chapter and help make it possible for us to conduct these events. The sponsors are BPC Motorsports, Bimmer World, HMS Motorsports, VAC Motorsports, Euro Envy, Corman, German Motors, Haggerty, Quantum Speedworks, and Tuttle Motorsports. If you have the opportunity to do business with them, they really appreciate it, and several of those sponsors will be at the events with us. Now, VIR has a number of rules, so we need for you to pay attention and follow those rules. First of all, driver clothing. Shirts and long pants of natural fiber and closed-toe shoes are required. Now, VIR has approved short sleeves for non-race prepped cars. Cars with modifications from original, for example, with roll bars or cages, occupants must wear long sleeves, long pants, closed-toe shoes. Racing suits with FIA or SFI labels are preferred and recommended. VIR prohibits cool-down driving or brake betting on any road within the facility. So please obey speed limit signs when you go out of the paddock. For example, if you need to go up to Quantum. Now, speaking of VIR, we are so lucky to have this track for our events, and we need to help taking care of the facility. To that end, you are responsible for any damage that you cause to the facilities, either on the track, for example, guardrails or tire bundles, or in the paddock. Please take care of the paddock pavement. Use wood blocks under jack stands or trailer jacks. Drive slowly in the paddock. If you spill any fuel, report the spill immediately to VIR staff on pit road or to one of us chief instructors out on, the pit road so that VIR can treat the spill quickly. If you have any fluids to dispose of, for example, oil, brake fluid, dispose of those fluids in the sheds and containers that are provided by VIR. Those sheds are near the fuel pumps and up near the false grid. Fuel is available at the pumps in the paddock, and it's credit card only. If you are renting a garage, please don't block the paddock space in front of any garage. Those are reserved for the people who are renting the garages. All right, let's talk about the grid procedure. When your run group is called, and it typically will be called somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes before the start of your run group, drive up to the false grid that's on top of the hill, past the garages, and then follow the directions and hand signals of VIR's grid staff. Before you go up to the grid, make sure your helmet's fastened, make sure your harnesses or seat belts are fastened, and they also will double check those for you. Now, pit lane entry. When you are released to enter the track, go down the hill towards station 17A. Wait for the corner worker at 17A to motion you out. That corner worker is very important because they're managing traffic pitting in as well as traffic pitting out. And typically, traffic pitting in is going a whole lot faster than you are when you're just coming off the false grid. All right, on the pit lane itself, the leftmost pit lane is for cars pitting out onto track. The center lane is for cars pitting in, and then the right-hand lane is it's alongside the concrete wall, and if you have crew members who want to check tire pressures or something like that, that's what the right-hand side of pit lane is for. Now, let me talk about track entry. When you're entering the track, you'll see a very distinctive green and yellow blend line. Do not run across that blend line. You will be black flagged if you do. This is especially important if you're entering the track mid-session. You've got hot traffic already out there, and you're just entering the track, and bad things can happen if you think you need to cross over that yellow blend line. In fact, stay all the way to the far right side of the track until you have reached the apex of turn 1. And again, like I said, if you re-enter mid-session, it's really, really, really important to do that. Hot traffic in that situation has the right of way. All right, on-track rules. With A group, you can pass anywhere with a point by. If you want a car to pass you on your left, point straight out the window. If you want them to point you on your right, point over the roof of the car. I don't know if you can see my hand signals on this video, but I'll be covering those in the in-person student meeting as well. Now for B, C, and D groups, pass anywhere the wheels are straight with a point by. If you've given a pass signal to somebody, you should facilitate passing by lifting out of the throttle a bit after you give the point by. 1 point per car you are signaling to pass. Excuse me. The driver giving the pass signal stays online. The car taking the pass goes offline. And again, I'll cover those preferred passing lines in the student meeting Saturday morning, and they've got big track maps that I can use for reference to make it clear for you. If you have an on-track spin or an uncontrolled 4 off-track, we need for you to pit in immediately and discuss the situation with the chief instructor. We want to make sure the car's okay, and we want to make sure that you're okay. We enforce a maximum of 2 on-track spins or uncontrolled 4 offs per day. If an off is impending, both feet in. All right, the pit in process. And again, whether you pit in during a session or at the end of one, the process is the same. Give a clear pit signal, closed fist out of the window, straight up. Keep showing that Keep showing that pit signal, move to the far right edge of the track and stay there. And I really do mean far edge right of the track. Don't be middle track, and please don't be left track thinking you're going to zoom off, across and pit in that way. That can result in horrendous accidents. Stay far right until you reach the beginning of pit road. Now, cars electing to stay out have the right to pass in this situation, so be real clear with your pit signal. All right, like I said earlier, use the center pit lane to the pit exit sign past the red timing and scoring building. It's kind of a hard right-hand turn near the emergency vehicles, go through the gates and back into the paddock. All right, on Saturday morning, we will be pairing up students and instructors along the fence bordering the pit lanes, following the instructor and student meetings. If you're in A or C group, we want you to line up close to the infield care center. If you're in B and D, line up further down that fence in the direction of the garages. During on-track sessions, by the way, if your instructor uses a term you don't understand during the session or during briefings, ask them for help or clarification. All right, each group will have classroom sessions, and those classroom sessions will be held in the driver meeting room under the garages. Now, if the class time is approaching your on-track time, raise your hand and let the classroom instructor know that you need to go prep your car. Don't be worried about doing that. They understand that it takes you a little bit of time to get your car and yourself ready to go. We will be having on-track exercises this school for A and A+, for B, and for C student groups. Your packet will include instructions for those. I mentioned the infield care center earlier. VIR has created an infield care center in the bottom floor of the red timing and scoring building where the classroom used to be. In the event of a hard impact, and by the way, a hard impact is determined by the flaggers. In the event of a hard impact, they now require a mandatory 30-minute observation in the infield care center. All right, your confirmation packets include definitions of the flags. I will also demonstrate and define the flags in the Saturday morning student meeting. Again, that's in the driver meeting room below the garages. Please remember, we do not want to see photos on social media of cars that may have been involved in an incident or damaged. So just don't take photos of damaged vehicles. We do thank you for being a part of our VIR school. We will see you there. I'll be sending you these notes, and it will include a link to this video of the student meeting. And then, like I said, we will have an in-person student meeting Saturday morning of the event. And I look forward to seeing everybody there.